Hello there, TikTokers. I'm Black Bright News, and I don't know how many of you heard about that fire in East London where a man got killed because an e-bike caught fire. Don't know why the e-bike caught fire, but I was watching a video yesterday where a phone in someone's back pocket caught fire. And we have to question what is causing it, what is causing these items to overheat when they're not even being used. Anyway, the reason is not because the e-scooter caught fire or the phone caught fire. It's about 23 people living in a 2-bedroom flat. Now, my first thought was, is this the answer to lack of housing? High rents. How many other flats are there that have goodness knows how many people living in them? Apparently they had bunk beds crammed into this 2-bedroom flat, people sleeping on the floor. They're told not to have mail delivered to their houses because they might get into trouble. So you've got these rogue landlords who are exploiting people who cannot find anywhere to live. How sad is that? I was just thinking, if I was homeless, but I had a job, would I go to that resort? Would I go to live in those kind of circumstances as a last resort? Maybe living in a overcrowded building would be better than living on the street. But he was charging each person £90 a week. Let me get it right. Let me just read it. It was in the Metro today. A grossly overcrowded 2-bedroom flat where a man died in an e-bike blaze had an estimated 23 tenants crammed inside, a court heard. The details about the property emerged as judge prepared to sentence a couple for housing offences over their management of the house at Maddox House in Shadwell, East London. Dad of 2, Mizano Rahman, 41, died from smoke inhalation in the fire caused by the bike's faulty battery. Landlord Safina Begum, 52, and Amina Rahman, no relation to the victim, 55, charged each occupant about £90 a week. Former residents say, suggesting the couple may have earned up to £9,000 a month from the property. A total of 18 beds, including bunk beds, were crammed into the flat, where 10 tenants say some of them had to sleep on the kitchen floor. They were told not to use the property as a postal address as it could get the couple in trouble. The husband and wife landlords also failed to allow regular inspections, did not have a current gas certificate, and failed to produce required documents. Now, why are they allowed to get away with that? Why doesn't the government or the council insist? How can you say that they fail to allow regular inspections? What a cop-out. The government and the council is not doing their job. The local authority is not doing their job. If they were doing their job, they should be investigating any tenant or landlord, any landlord that refuses inspections based on this. And it should be taken up. After the fight in March 2023, Rahman told Tower Hamlets council officers he rented the flat to 2 people and did not know the other occupiers. Yeah, right. You don't know the other occupiers, but you're charging them £90 a week? After one of the men told the officers he paid rent to Rahman, the landlord claimed not to speak English. Very, very convenient. And the conversation ended. Prosecutors for the council said The case came up before Snaresbrook Crown Court this week, ahead of the couple's sentencing on March the 6th for the housing offences, which they admitted in November 2023. I wonder what their charge will be. As inquiries continue into the fire, they face a fine after pleading guilty to knowingly permitting unlicensed occupation, failing to comply with licence conditions, and failing to meet the requirements of the licence notice. Yeah, put it on the landlords, why don't you? Why aren't you checking? If you have requirements and you're there, people are not meeting deadlines, go to the house and check. You claim that you are trying to get rid of illegal immigration and what have you. I'm not saying these people are illegal, but they could be. And if you are allowing overcrowding like this because you're too lazy to go and check buildings and properties that are not complying with legislation and not allowing inspections, you're complicit. Don't go blaming the bloody landlord. Blame your staff for not carrying out the required inspections on time. And if they're not carried out on time, to report it and have it escalated. How else are you going to sort this out? People dying. It's like Grenfell Tower, another building that was neglected. It's not the same situation, but it's a similar situation. Only one person died in this fire, but all 23 could have died. Anyway, I think I'm going to end it there. I don't think there's anything else here. Begum's name was on the licence while Rahman collected the rent and dealt with the property. They blamed a rogue manager they hired, Mr. Raja, but prosecutors say this is Mr. Rahman. Yeah, they're trying to pass the buck. So Harry Martin defending said what the two defendants put forward is that they knew there were more people and permitted it to be. However, they had no knowledge of the actual people staying there. How can you have no knowledge when you are collecting £90 from each party? They have become aware since some residents were effectively renting out their space. So what they're now saying is that the tenants who are sleeping on the floor were renting it out to other people. I guess it's plausible, because if you know that there's a place and somebody else is on the street, they could technically do that. Subletting. I don't know. What is this world coming to? Anyway, they have become aware since some residents were effectively renting out their space. There were things happening and people staying in the property they did not have knowledge of. I guess you can't prove it, but as a landlord, it is your responsibility to check your property, to make regular weekly inspections, make sure that all the gas and all the appliances are working. And as for that e-scooter and the battery going, that is quite alarming. So for parents who've got children with e-scooters, you better be checking those batteries. And I guess that goes for those mobility bikes as well. That's a possibility. And with our phones, we know that they can overheat. So this is a learning for all of us. And that is all for now. Bye-bye.